Hi, and we're back at Neomed Institute with Tina, the functional nutritionist, and Dina, the naturopathic practitioner. So today we're going to talk about the weight loss resistance, which is an interesting and difficult topic for many, for those who are trying to lose weight and can't achieve anything. So Tina, again, I'm going to ask you a very difficult question. What is a weight loss resistance and why it happens?
Well, weight loss resistance we're seeing it a lot now. The weather's opening up, people are like, oh, it's beach time, and they're kind of like, we've gained some weight over quarantine time and we want to lose the weight. And people have started, cutting back calories, not eating sweets, and they're seeing no difference in their bodies.
Yes.
And even though they're eating less calories, they're saying to themselves, hey, nothing's happening, what's going on? Mm-hmm. And so this is where functional medicine can really start to be a gift, because then we start delving into the root causes of what can be really happening in the body. And why it happens, there's many reasons. And this is why it's so important to work with a naturopath or a functional medicine practitioner so that you individualize your weight loss journey according to your body. And so one of the reasons that you can have weight loss resistance is food sensitivities. A lot of people, for example, that have autoimmune disease or that have another chronic issue or suffering from chronic fatigue, they can have food sensitivities that
don't know about it.
Right, they don't know about it. They keep eating it, even though I get this picture all the time. The patient that comes in, I'm eating 700 calories a day and I'm not eating it and I'm not losing weight. Well, what are you having? Well, I have toast with cheese for breakfast. I have some, biscuits for a snack.
I have Coke.
Yeah.
Because it's zero.
Right, exactly. There's no calories. But I'm barely eating and I'm not losing weight. But they're eating highly inflammatory foods. And when your body is under inflammation, you're causing inflammation in your body through these food sensitivities, you can eat 200 calories. You're not going to lose weight.
Right.
And so what you can do is actually eat around 1,500 calories and eat foods that are non-inflammatory, and then you'll see a gradual and sustainable weight loss. So that's number one.
So let me just elaborate a little bit more on that.
Yeah.
In order for them to find out what kind of foods cause those intolerances, do they need to do a specific test, or they can just do elimination diet, or they work, let's say, with you and find out? How does that work?
Well, from my practice, the tests are still not 100%. Mm-hmm. So even if you do food sensitivity testing, they're called IgG tests, you can get some idea, but this test will be different today from when you do it in 2 weeks, for example. Mm-hmm. So the best gold standard for finding this out is the elimination diet. And we typically take out foods that we know from practice and from science that can cause inflammation. So these typically are gluten, conventional dairy, sugar, processed foods, soy, corn, all the genetically modified foods. We take those out of the diet. Mm-hmm. And what an elimination diet is and does, we take those foods out for about a month, mm-hmm. and then after the month we start to reintroduce each food item one by one and look out for symptoms. So symptoms can not only be physical, they can be emotional too. So for example, you can eat a food that's bothering you and you get really angry and you don't understand why you're angry. This can actually happen.
I just want to add here, I think you're absolutely right. In those cases, it's great to have a food journal and maybe write down, for example, I ate this and then this happened. I got emotional, I got angry, I got outraged. And I think that could be also a very good guide. Not only the food intolerance test, which could also serve as a guide, but also this food journal.
Yeah, definitely. Really, really marking what bothers you and what doesn't. And therefore you create a diet that's individualized for you and your body.
Absolutely.
And you see that weight loss resistance start to fade away when it is a food sensitivity that's bothering you.
Yes.
Yeah. Another thing to kind of think about when we're looking at weight loss resistance is your adrenal glands. Mm-hmm. So for those that don't know, the adrenal glands are two organs that are situated on top of the kidneys, and they're responsible for producing our stress hormones. So things like adrenaline, cortisol, all these stress hormones are produced in the adrenal glands. And they're supposed to produce, example, cortisol naturally high in the morning, because you want that cortisol wakes you up, it makes you feel awake in the morning. And then as the day goes by, it naturally fades off. And that's what we want to see throughout the day. Now, for most people today that are really stressed out, we have a lot going on, we have a lot of busyness, a lot of things to do throughout the day, we're staring at screens at night, we're not, sleeping properly, we throw off that balance of the adrenal glands. And all of a sudden, instead of having high cortisol in the morning, we have low cortisol in the morning. We wake up and we're like, oh my God, I can't go to work, I don't feel good.
I need that coffee.
Yes.
Give me something. Sugar.
Exactly. Which just makes it worse.
Yes.
And so when you have lots of cortisol in your body, it's your body's natural fight or flight mechanism, right, that's happening. So if you're about to get attacked by a bear in the woods, your body shuts down digestion, it shuts down metabolism, shuts down reproduction, so that you can run for your life or fight the bear if you're that daring.
Absolutely.
So this happens emotionally too. When we're under this amount of stress, this is exactly what's happening, but chronically. And this is when it gets dangerous. And so when it's happening chronically, your body shuts down its metabolism. How many people do I get in my office that say, hey Tina, I went on vacation and I ate whatever I wanted and I lost 3 kilos.
But we also get people that say, I ate whatever I wanted and I gained 8 kilos.
Yes.
So that's a different cause, okay?
Yeah, that's a different thing. So that's a big indication that your weight loss resistance is coming from your adrenal glands. And you need to do things that calm your body, calm your spirit, ensuring better sleep habits, more quality sleep, eating foods, non-processed foods that really help the body to, decrease its inflammation and increase the way it's functioning and its metabolic rate, how it's functioning.
So we discussed the food intolerances, we discussed adrenal glands. Are there any other reasons that could cause this weight loss resistance?
Sure. There is also the liver. We know that the liver is a very important organ for detoxification. And, we detoxify by many different ways. By pooping, so making sure that intestinal health is good. By our liver, by sweating, by breathing through our lungs. All these things help to detoxify. And if any of these things are clogged up, the lymphatic system as well, if any of these things are clogged up, the metabolism is going to become sluggish. And a lot of the time when we are looking at the liver, a lot of people have a congested liver. And that person has to specifically work with a naturopath or a functional medicine practitioner that knows what they're doing to address that liver health. I mean, you can take things like N-acetylcysteine, which help to produce glutathione, our master antioxidant, which help to, help the detoxification process on as well. Another thing to support the liver is to eat a very nutrient-dense diet, and a lot of greens, also bitter greens, also help the liver to detoxify. So a lot of the time when you're eating less to lose weight, you're actually not helping your liver because you're not giving it the nutrients it needs, the amount of nutrients it needs to detoxify the body. And so liver health is key when it comes to weight loss resistance and not being able to lose weight.
We also need to mention that in the liver, most of the conversion of T4 to T3 happens, and that's important because...
Yeah, so there's another cause of weight loss resistance. A lot of people go to their doctor and they run some thyroid testing and say, doc, I can't lose weight. So the doctor runs some thyroid testing and he says, you're fine, you're normal, it's all okay.
You don't need to do anything.
Right, but you're experiencing all the symptoms of that thyroid issue, like chronic fatigue and your hair falling out and you're gaining weight and you're having a lot of muscle pain and joint pain and all these things happening. So it's very important to get the right testing to understand. The number one thing that you can test are the antibodies of the thyroid, because over 95% of cases of hypothyroidism are autoimmune in nature. So test the antibodies, check if that's what's really happening, and then going back to the liver, if you could be producing enough thyroid hormone, okay, so your thyroid hormone produces the storage form, the T4 form, okay?
And just a little bit of T3.
Yes. And then you go to the liver, and the liver transforms that T4 into the T3, which is the active form of thyroid hormone, okay? To take it even further, let's say your liver is doing that process, and now T3 is there, and now your cells are so full of toxins, okay, or whatever's going on, heavy metals, things like this, or stress, that T3 knocks on the cell's door, but the cell's like, no, you can't come in.
No.
So now your metabolism isn't working. So a lot of thyroid patients that are already on thyroxine, already on other natural medications to help their thyroid, they're still seeing that they can't lose weight because they have the cell is saying, no, I'm rejecting your T3, and you have to dig in deeper to understand what's happening.
And I think then it's very important to work with a functional nutritionist, for example, a functional medicine practitioner or a naturopath to find out how you can detoxify and help your cells to uptake this active T3 hormone, which is important for metabolism and weight loss. There are many other reasons for weight loss resistance, but we can't not mention stress and emotional toxicity. So I think we had a chat already about emotional toxicity before, but we need to reiterate that there are some important issues that you probably need to resolve in your own life, like what is it that I'm holding on to, what is it that I'm afraid to let go of, and work on that. And probably from there, your weight loss resistance is going to be less of a problem.
Yeah, because we're all beings of energy as well. So once we learn to shift our energy towards vibing at a higher frequency, that we'll definitely see a difference in our weight as well. And we do see patients that have made significant improvements in their weight because they're focusing on their emotional state.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Tina. I think this was a very productive and very nice talk that hopefully is going to help a lot of people to hopefully overcome the weight loss resistance.
Great, thanks.